What's up, internet? Welcome. What are we doing today? We're doing more YZ 450 trash talking. I'm just kidding. We're not. So I put that video out about Eli Tomac and can he win on the YZ 450. Nobody's been able to do that since James Stewart, really, in 2009 when he pretty much crushed it, right? And then I talked a lot about, I think people took this the wrong way, but I understand why you think that I was slamming Yamaha. I wasn't slamming Yamaha. That wasn't the intent. I was just pointing out that since they introduced the rearward engine YZ 450, they haven't done shit. Now, obviously, Dylan killed it in motocross this year. Everybody saw that. He just absolutely just crushed it. So that was really, really cool. And a lot of people are talking about, Star Yamaha's difference, and they've got a top tier rider, etc., etc., etc. Now, I thought it would be fun to pick like 3, maybe 4 comments. We'll see how it goes, but at least pick 3 comments. And because there was a lot of great interaction, video got a shit ton of views, which was really, really cool. And I think most of the comments and the interaction was, it was pretty it was cool to see people like leave comments with like a different opinion and like facts to back it up for the most part. Some people were like, you're dumb, and then they just ran off to go do more internet things somewhere else. But most people were like, no, dude, I disagree, and here's why. And you know what? I agreed with some of the points that people made because I think there's some truth to it. And I wasn't, again, I wasn't trying to slam Yamaha. I own and ride a Yamaha. I like Yamaha. There's only one manufacturer that really kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, especially when it comes to Supercross and motocross. And so I think we're going to start with this comment first. Kevin Thompson writes, dude, you're a Honda homer. As wins go, who just won the Nationals? I know it's not Supercross, but it's wins. And true, you are right, wins are wins. Let's go back to this first part of this comment because I'm not really 100% sure what the hell a Honda homer even is. And maybe that's because my ass is just getting old. But I think what he's trying to say is I like Honda so much that they can do no wrong in my eyes. So if you didn't see the video, in the original video, I talked about how Yamaha hasn't won a championship since 2009 with James Stewart. And Honda hasn't won one even longer. But I think what I said was, at least they're winning races, right? At least Ken Roczen's up front and he's winning races. But the point is, I do think race wins matter. And I was trying to focus just on Supercross for the sake of the discussion, argument, the point I was trying to make. And really the only point in the original video that I was trying to make was they've got an uphill battle, in my opinion. It's a lot to overcome not even winning races for that long. I hope they do. I think they will. There's a lot of people that are talking about the difference that Star Yamaha is making, getting rid of the factory and letting Star run the show. And it's hard to argue against that because we just saw what Dylan Ferrandis did in the outdoors. I mean, he absolutely crushed it. And I'm sure Yamaha has been evolving the bike over the years. They're making the bike better. Got it. But Honda homer. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I don't like Honda. And it's not that I don't think they make good products. I think they make good products. They make good bikes, street bikes, dirt bikes, cars, automobiles. They make good shit, okay? But they've turned me off because for me, especially in Supercross and motocross, they come off extremely arrogant, full of themselves. I'm talking about not the riders on the bikes, but the team. And you know what? There's a recent interview where they actually talked to Ricky Carmichael, and they talked about when he left Honda in 2004. He was actually trying to stay with Honda. He wanted to stay on Honda. And Honda kept putting all these provisions in his contract. They gave him a raise, but they wouldn't give him what he was asking for. And I mean, like, that's freaking insane to me because he, in 2002, he was the first one ever and one of only 2 people ever to have an undefeated motocross season. He gave you titles every time he was on the damn bike. And like, he asked for more money. Give it to him. At that point, to be the only one to have an undefeated motocross season. I mean, 24-0. He won every single moto, and then a couple of years go by. So he misses Supercross because of an ACL injury, and you think he's done. That's the only thing that like makes sense. But I think that Honda won so much shit in the 80s and the 90s. They were just, you know, almost unstoppable in both Supercross and motocross. They were more dominant in Supercross. I'll put some stuff up here on the screen, but you can see all of these Honda riders just winning championship after championship. Where are we at here? Let's look at this. That's motocross. Let's look at Supercross because they were just stupid dominant. Let's go all the way back to like Donnie Hansen. I think he rode for Honda. 1982, David Bailey, Johnny O'Mara. These are all Honda guys winning Supercross. Now Jeff Ward won. He was on Kawasaki, but then you have Rick Johnson, Jeff Ward, Rick Johnson. They kind of went back and forth. So it's like, you know, okay, Jeff Ward got a couple in there on the Kawasaki, and then Rick Johnson, you know, he nails it. And Jeff Stanton, Jean-Michel Bale, remember him? He was badass. And then Jeff Stanton wins another one, and then Jeremy McGrath takes over. In the beginning of Jeremy's career, he was on Honda. Just like Honda they just won year after year after year after year. And I think that shit just went to their damn head. And they were like, we're Honda. We can get anybody we want. You don't like our deal? Go away. I think when I hear Ricky Carmichael tell his side of the story, that's how it comes off to me. And dude, Honda turns me off. And oh yeah, let's go to my garage. Kawasaki, Suzuki. Oh, and a Yamaha, my favorite motocross bike of all time that I've ever owned, and I've owned a bunch. Oh man, YZ252 stroke. Oh yeah, I do have a Honda. So I'm going to be selling this if anybody is in the area and is looking for a 50. I will have this up for sale. My youngest son has outgrown it, so it's time to move on. Got to sell my Honda. I was a Honda homer. Wouldn't I own at least one Honda? All right, that's enough of the Honda homer question. If I got what you were trying to say by calling me a Honda homer wrong, my apologies. I'm just old. We'll just chalk it up to that. Next comment. I like this one a lot. David Bryan. He says, you keep saying Yamaha hasn't done good in Supercross, but until the switch to Star Racing this year, they never did much in outdoors either. 100%, brother, 100%. I think management has been more of a problem than the actual bike, and outdoors showed that. I think you'll see a much different Yamaha team this Supercross season. I think he's right. David Bryan, you are 100% correct, man. They haven't done shit in outdoors too, and look what they did. Look what Star did with a tier 1 rider. Let's just say it. Dylan Ferrandis is a tier 1 rider. So yeah, Star plus a tier 1 rider, and they crushed outdoors. So I think you're right. I expect to see a different Yamaha team in Supercross. I don't think they're gonna come out swinging at round. I won't say round 1. I'll say round 2, because none of the top guys tend to come out swinging at round 1, right? I think it was Ricky Carmichael that kind of. I don't know if he's the first one to say it, but he's the first one I remember saying it. And I think he said something to the effect of, you can't win the Supercross championship at round 1, but you sure can lose it. So I think that's why a lot of guys, and plus, everybody's been riding by themselves with their own team, and you're guessing on your setup for the most part. You don't really know until everybody comes to the same track, lines up on the same gate, and then you find out, whoa, our setup's way off, or our setup's pretty close, or whatever. But I think a lot of guys know what Ricky said was true, and they certainly don't show all their cards at round 1. So we'll see. That's why I say I don't think they're going to come out swinging around 2. I think that they've got a lot of work to do, and Supercross is not motocross, but we'll see. I think you're right, Mr. David Bryan. I think you're right. And I think we will see it, but I think it'll be a slow start. I think it'll take them 2 or 3 rounds, and they'll get her dialed. And man, I hope hope the old Tomac, the 2020 Tomac, returns, because that guy is stupid fast. All right, let's go on to the next comment. So many comments. I love it. Okay, this is going to be the last comment. I don't like making long videos. This video is probably going to end up being somewhere around 10-15 minutes, and that's a long video for me. And I value your time, so we're going to wrap this up. The last comment comes from Clayton Cragen. Clayton writes, "Don't forget the first ever raceable four-stroke was a Yamaha YZ400F, and Doug Henry aboard that destroyed the competition." I'm kind of a little disappointed in myself for forgetting that fact, because I was watching Supercross back then, and I totally remember that, and that's 100% accurate. He didn't just win; he walked away from everybody on that YZ400. And just imagine riding that 450 back then. That thing must have turned like a tank, and it just probably, I mean, compared to nowadays, compared to the current YZF 450, I bet you if you could ride those two bikes back to back, you'd be like, no, get that thing out of here. But he destroyed everybody. I remember that race. He won by, oh my gosh, a lot. So Clayton goes on to say, I get it. It was a long time ago in a different time period, but love having him on it. And I think he's referencing Eli Tomac there, having Tomac on the YZ450, riding blue for 2022. And then he goes on to say, you will see him do what Carmichael did for Suzuki. And remember, I was talking about that earlier in this video, where Honda was just, so full of themselves, adding all these provisions to Carmichael's contract, such as giving him everything he wants, which is what they should have done. They didn't. And Suzuki comes along and is like, here you go, Mr. Carmichael. Here's all the money you want. No provisions. You're free to do whatever you want. And what does Suzuki get in return? 4 more championships. Carmichael goes on to win Supercross and Motocross in 2005. Goes on to win Supercross and Motocross again in 2006, although the Supercross season, there was a lot of drama with the fuel thing and getting points taken away and getting points back and yada, yada, yada. A lot of drama that year. But in record books, he's the champ. And then even in 2007, he did his, farewell tour. He raced a bunch of motos in motocross, raced Supercross. And I don't remember how many wins he got in Supercross, but he still won a lot of motos in motocross. I mean, Carmichael was always better at motocross. Not that he was bad at Supercross. He won, 5 titles. But point is, Suzuki got 4 more championships and a shit ton of race wins. And Honda got 0 championships since 2004. So somebody at Honda needs to be fired if they haven't already. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.